What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Buck Let's Play coming at you today with another video game review. I know it is kind of late since the DLC, this Civilization Brave New World DLC came out, but I decided to go ahead and do a little review for it for those of you who watch my channel and those of you that kind of want to know a little bit about the game. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I gave it a 4.96 out of 5, so that's an excellent review in my case, and I based it off 5 factors, and based upon graphics, quality, time, effort, etc. And the only thing I gave it a slight, I gave it a 4.8 out of 5 on the difficulty, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. But anyway, let's go ahead and load the game. So here you all can see I am in one of the games I've been playing. Not too good of a situation, as you can see. I'm playing as America. Kind of my downfall in the game is I've kind of fell behind in technology. But anyway, I am going to go over some of the new features in this DLC. One of the major things is trading. You actually create land-based and naval-based trade routes, basically from the beginning of the game. And for example, I'll click on here. I've got 6 trade routes set up between different countries, and basically how this works, you can have, let's say if you do it by land, you can send food from one city to one to one of your own cities to increase its production. Now, I can't really click and show you right now because once you have the raid route set, or the trade route set up, you can't actually modify it until so many turns and whenever it ends. But you actually can send them between cities to increase the food for the city. As you can see, here's one of my land-based trade routes. It's an American caravan. Of course, it's one of mine, and it's actually probably going to this Brazilian city called Brasilia, which it'll actually give me money when you're trading with other people. It gives you money, it gives them money, it gives them research bonuses, and it really makes the economy of the game less focused on buildings and trading with people like in the trade and diplomacy, giving gold to each other. You're actually making quite a bit of money just by trade routes between countries, and that's really neat. As you can see, 149 of my gold is actually being made just from my trading, and if there was no trade going on in my country, as you can see, I would be in a deep debt. Now, as you can see, one of the new countries in the game is Brazil. This is their empire. They're very aggressive, I found out. The Polish Empire was actually down in this area, and the Brazilians kind of took them over time. I was friends with them at the beginning, and then they backstabbed me, and they've actually been my longtime enemy. And they've also attacked the new civilization of Assyria. And to my west is the new civilization, excuse me, it is very late at night, the Shoshone and Pocatello. But anyway, trading, major part of the economy system in the game now, and that's not the only major overhaul to the game. The new thing in diplomacy, one minor change, like when you go to trade with someone. That was a bad example there. Let me find someone I'm not friends with. If you do not have a declaration of friendship with a country, you cannot trade money back and forth. You can only trade gold per turn. You cannot trade like so much money or big lump sums of money. You have to actually just do gold per turn, which is kind of disappointing in a way, but makes it, a little less easy to get huge sums of money. But in turn, really, it's not too much different. You can just give them gold per turn. But otherwise, you have to have a declaration of friendship in order to give gold back and forth. And like I said, the major overhaul. Whenever you discover all the civilizations in the game, and you have the printing press technology, you will be the founder of the World Congress, which right now, I was not the founder, but I am the host of the Congress right now, which means I'm kind of like the leader. I get extra delegates, and basically, every 25 turns, you, as the host leader, you get to choose what we're going to vote on, and then whoever has the second most delegates, they get to choose the second thing that they will get to vote on. And the rest of them, they don't really get to choose, but they do get to vote, of course. And then you can vote on either one of these. You can put like half of your delegates towards this or half of your delegates toward that. But anyway, real quickly here, I'll show you how the delegates work. As the American Empire, I have a total of 9 delegates. I get 3 of them from being a member, and right now at this age in the game, everyone has automatically 3. I get 2 for being the current host, so if you're the host, you get 2 extra delegates. And then if you are allies with city-states, you get an extra delegate per ally you get. And then I have a world wonder that gives me 2 extra delegates, so there you can see I am kind of a power. Now, it doesn't mean just because I have 9 delegates that I became host. Even like Brazil here, for example, they have 4. They could easily be the host. It doesn't matter who has the most delegates. It's just whoever gets elected. But sadly, it's kind of like piracy. At first, when you have your first election for who's host, everyone votes for themselves. So obviously, whoever has the most delegates is going to get elected. But see, this the guy, he was the Indonesian guy. He's the one who actually founded the World Congress. He met everyone first and had the printing press. He was the first host. And then later on down the line, we got to vote on who became the new host. And then, of course, I had the most delegates. So, I voted for myself, and now I'm the host. There are 18 turns until our next session meets. These are just 2 of the things. This is actually from whenever the Indonesians were the host. They want to do historic landmarks, and that's one of the resolutions they proposed. And then the Shoshone want to do cultural heritage sites, and then in 18 turns we all get to vote, and etc. Of course, it'll eventually evolve into the United Nations. Now, another thing you can do, those aren't too bad of resolutions. Some things, as you can see, 2 of the ones that have been already enacted, we're not allowed to trade with city-states. Sadly, who would want to do that? But apparently someone thought, hey, we don't want to trade with city-states. Let's vote and just don't do it. Well, apparently that's one of the things they voted on. Well, let's say you didn't like that, but apparently everyone else liked it. You can actually go to other countries and pay them to vote no for it, which is very useful. Apparently I didn't do that. I didn't think it was too big of an issue. I don't trade with city-states, but that's just one of the things. Let's say people get fed up with this law. They can vote to have it repealed or repelled, but it has to be enacted as a resolution by either the leader or the second most delegates person, or whatever you want to call that. And then apparently they also voted no trade with Russia, so they basically did an embargo on Russia. So those are just a couple of the things that our World Congress has voted upon. So, yeah. These are just some of the resolutions. You could choose new host, embargo, ban luxury, a standing army tax, all these things. Some of them can be kind of devastating to different countries, and that's why obviously you would want to vote no, and some of them could be beneficial. So, anyway, that's how some of that works. Of course, as you all know, it will eventually kind of go over into the United Nations, which gets even more in depth and probably a lot more controlled. As you can see right now, Brazil is kicking the crap out of everyone on this continent. So we're not doing too well. But anyway, that's basically how the World Congress works, and like I said, a very brief, informative description of what I've given you about the trading. Excuse me, it is 2:30 in the morning, and I know this is probably horrible. I'm probably stuttering a lot. If any of you want an in-depth thing on how the trading system works, I'll be glad to make a video, because I'm actually deleting this game because I've played further into it, and the Brazilians just kick my butt. Here I am with rifles. They have airplanes. It's not good. So, but anyway, that's how some of it works. And of course, they've added new cultural options. Tons of cultural options. I'm not going to get completely into detail with that. But right now, I'm going to real briefly show you the new civilizations, and we'll go ahead and wrap up this review. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read to you real briefly here all the new civilizations and some of the bonuses they get. Ahmad al-Mansur of Morocco, he receives 3 gold and +1 culture for each trade route with a different civ or city-state. The trade route owner receives +2 gold for each trade route sent to Morocco. They get the Berber cavalry, the Kashba, which is probably the replacement for the fort, and then of course there's their symbol. Let's see, Ashurbanipal, the Assyrian Empire. When a city is conquered, gain a free technology already discovered by its owner. Gaining a city through a trade deal does not count, and it can only happen once per enemy city. They get the siege tower instead of probably, I think it's the catapult. They get the royal library, and there's their symbol. Let's see here. Casimir III of Poland. They get to receive a free social policy when you advance to the next era. They have the Winged Hussar and the Ducal Stable. Enrico Dandolo of Venice cannot gain settlers nor annex cities, which sounds horrible at first. Double the normal number of trade routes are available, though. A merchant of Venice appears after researching optics and may purchase in puppeted cities. So basically, you have to do a lot of buying and taking over city-states as this civilization. Get the Merchant of Venice and the Great Gallius instead of a regular Gallius. Then Gajah Mada of Indonesia. The first 3 cities founded on continents other than where Indonesia started each provide 2 unique luxury resources and can never be raised. You get the Chris Swordsman and the Kendai or Kendi. Let's see. I believe Maria the First of Portugal is new. Excuse me if she was already in it. But resource diversity grants twice as much gold for Portugal and trade routes. They get the Nau and the Vitoria. Pedro II of Brazil, I found him to be a gigantic pain in the rear. Tourism output is 100% plus 100% during their golden ages. Earn great artists, musicians, and writers 50% faster during the golden age. They get the Presina and the Brazilian Wood Camp. Pocatello of the Shoshone. Founded cities start with additional territory. Units receive a combat bonus when fighting within their own territory. They have the Pathfinder and the Comanche Riders. Shaka of the Zulus. Melee units cost 50% less maintenance. All units require 25% less experience to earn their next promotion. They get the Impi and the Ikanda. And that's all the new leaders in the game. So, I hope you all enjoyed this review as I give it a 4.96. The only reason I docked it like literally 4/100ths out of 5. Very, very little docking is because of difficulty. And it's not that difficult. It's just kind of, as usual, kind of like the previous DLC did, the Gods and Kings. It really changed Civ. You know, it's a lot different now, but it's a good different, and I'd say for the majority of us, we're going to enjoy it. Some of you, if you really, really, really hate politics, it doesn't really matter because, you know, you can practically ignore it, even though sometimes it might affect you. You know, you have to keep an eye on it, but usually you can work your way around it. And if something's going to happen, you don't want it to happen, you usually can kind of, you know, bribe the other countries to vote your way. But anyway, excellent DLC. I love it, and it's a great way for the franchise to go out because, you know, the game's been up for 3 years. It's an excellent game. I love it to death, and I think they did an awesome job. So thank you all very much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, comment, like it, share it, and all that wonderful stuff. I'll see you next time. I'm Buck Let's Play.